Happy Friday. You are listening to the She Heals Radio Show on Awesome God Radio. I am your host, Whitney J. It is Friday, January 24th, 2020. If you are tuning in on the Awesome God Radio app, thank you so much. If you have not downloaded the free Awesome God Radio app, please do so. Listen, the music, the shows, the worship is amazing. It's life-changing. You want to be tuned in all the time. If you are tuning in on awesomegodradio.com, thank you so much. If you have not been before, go to awesomegodradio.com, click on the AGR subscribe tab so you can see our shows live there as well. And last but not least, if you are tuning in on on Facebook Live, please, I'm so thankful that you're here. If you're tuning in, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and share it to your page. I am so excited to be here on this Friday. Listen, let me tell you, you can always tell when it's going to be a great show. Whenever God gives you an assignment and he really has a power-packed assignment, the way that you can tell is that so much opposition hits you. It's like every turn something is happening and you can't, it's just frustrating, right? And so this, I won't even say this week has been frustrating because it hasn't. This particular day has been a rough day, and it started off so well, and it kind of just went, and it's been just opposition after opposition. But you know what? When you know that you are doing what God called you to do, you have some fight and some fire in you, and you got to be willing to press through, right? So you can't just shrink back the moment that things get a little difficult. This is kind of what makes you or breaks you. So are you going to lean in to the challenge? Are you going to position yourself, do what you need to do and get it done? Or are you going to shrink back? That's always the choice, right? And the choice is yours to make. And so, regardless of the fact that it's been quite a rough day, I am here, I am blessed, I am thankful, and it is an honor to be here at Awesome God Radio. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to hop into the She Heals Inspiration segment, and I want to talk about something that's been going on in the media. And so for the last maybe week, probably a week today, there has been so much talk about this new Tyler Perry movie, right? So if you're not, familiar, Tyler Perry did this movie on Netflix, and it was called A Fall from Grace. And I want to say it came out last weekend. Like, it's pretty new to Netflix. And so people watched this movie, and they had much to say. I mean, some people loved the movie and they thought how great it was and that this was a different type of work for Tyler Perry. Some people hated the movie. They thought the acting was bad. They thought the wigs were bad. There were some notices of some, like blooper type things, right? And so it's so many different things that, people had to say about this particular movie, right? And so there was so much commentary that I was intrigued. Oh my God. I was intrigued. And so I watched it, right? So this is how social media gets you. Social media gets you because they will have you talking about something and talking about something and talking about something. And even if you're not interested, you end up becoming interested because you want to see what the hype is all about, right? So you end up watching something or doing something that you may or may not have done before just because you want to see what it's like so that you can be a part of the buzz. So I fell victim to this and I watched this movie. And I'm going to be honest, I liked the movie. The movie caught my attention. It kept my attention from start to finish. Was it the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life? No. Was it a movie that I may watch again? Maybe. But it was one of those things where, it was just, I watched it and I enjoyed it. And after I watched it, I saw all this commentary and I was reading these articles and I came to realize a few things. There are some people that love Tyler Perry. It does not matter what he does. He is going to be king to them, right? So whether the movie really was good or bad, it doesn't even matter because to them it was wonderful because he did it. It doesn't matter, right? Then there are people who do not like Tyler Perry, and it doesn't matter what he does. They are going to be against it, right? Both sets of people are very dangerous, and I'm going to tell you why. So the people that never like anything, right? So regardless of what good work he, puts out that, could really be a blessing to them simply because it's him, they don't like it. The problem with that type of mentality is you'll miss your blessing because God can use anybody at any time and in any circumstance. And he's not limited to you liking them for them to be able to be used to get a word to you. So if you shun off a person just off the strength that you don't like them, you could miss an opportunity to hear from God because guess what? God loves them. just like he loves you, and he can use anybody. So it's very dangerous to be in that mindset of just because they said it, I don't like it. Now, you could have enjoyed the movie up until the part where you knew that it was Tyler Perry, and then all of a sudden, oh, I don't like it, right? That's the hater mentality. And I think a lot of times people get this confused because people think that anytime you give an opinion that is not in favor of that person that you're hating, that's not true. I can have a healthy opinion about something and not be hating. Hating is when no matter what they do or say, you purposely find fault in it. So you're looking for the mistake. You're looking for the negative. Not that it's just something that you see and have an opinion on, but you are specifically looking. That's hating. But having an opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. And so having those people in your life that only see the negative, right? No matter what you do, no matter what you say, it's never good enough for them. They're going to find fault or problem in it. Those are dangerous people because that tends to lead back to misery, right? So if I'm unhappy, I'm going to find unhappiness in everybody else. If I'm frustrated and I'm unhappy with my own life, and instead of doing what I need to do to make my life better, which would be the obvious thing to do, I'm going to find fault in every little thing. So I'm going to pick apart everything that this person does because they are positive. So whether you like the Tyler Perry movie or not, please understand that his check cleared regardless, right? He's not thinking about you. He's doing what he's doing, working on what he's working on, right? And guess what? Because we talked about it so much on social media, many people went and watched it that wouldn't have watched it, so he also got the results, right? So if you're one of those people that doesn't like him just off the fact that it's him, it's not serving you any good, and it's not doing anything to him either. So what's the point, right? So again, there are people that are in your life that may be like that no matter what you do, just because it's you, it's a problem. I know for me, I can say something, right? And my kids are like, whatever, Ma. But my aunt could say the same thing word for word, and it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's just the messenger, right? You don't take it personal, you move on. The flip side of that is, I said there's two types of people. So there's some people that will like, using Tyler Perry as an example, they'll like whatever he puts out, regardless of his content. Right? So there is no judgment. He put it out. It's perfect. This is like my Beehive people right now. I'm a Beyonce fan too, but there are some people, it doesn't matter what she says, what she does, what she wears. It is perfect in their eyes. And if you say anything to the contrary, they're like ready to fight. Well, these people are dangerous as well. Why? Because there is no true love without correction. So I can't say that I truly love you if I don't ever correct you on anything. If I can't say to you, hey, listen, that wasn't your best work. Or, hey, listen, this is what you could have done differently. If I'm a yes person, right? Which means every single thing that you do, I'm like, yes, that's great. Yes. And I never give any constructive criticism. And I never give any actual feedback. I just go along with it simply because it's you. That's dangerous as well. So you want to have a balance of people. You don't want to have people that are going to, shut you down at every turn. But you also don't want to have people that are going to say yes to everything. You want those true friends. You want those true people, those true relationships where people are honest. They communicate in love. If you cannot be corrected in a friendship or relationship or whatever, you are not going to get the growth that you need to be who God called you to be, because it requires correction. It requires you to redo something. It requires you to look at something from a different lens. If you can't take that criticism and that feedback, then you're not in position to be who God called you to be. Listen, if Tyler Perry sat down every time somebody didn't like a body of his work, he would not be where he is today. The reason why he is where he is today, whether you agree or disagree, is because he has a work ethic that is strong, and he is focused and determined of doing what he is called to do. He's not trying to be like anybody else. He's doing what he is trying to do. And oftentimes we get caught up in trying to be everything but ourselves, right? And so I remember when I first became a teacher, and I was trying to find my teaching style, and I had a friend who is like probably the best teacher I've ever seen. And I was trying to be her, and it wasn't working. I didn't have those gifts and talents. My gifts and talents were in another area, and I didn't have that personality. My personality was different. And so I was struggling because I was out of lane. Right? That would be equivalent to me running a race, but I'm looking at the lane beside me and wondering why I'm not winning, because I'm not focused on my own race. And so I had to learn, well, who is Whitney as the teacher? And what makes me great, because God called me to this position too, and he didn't call me to be like somebody else. He called me to be me. So what does this look like for me? What is my classroom going to look like? What is my instruction going to look like? And so I had to stop looking everywhere else, and I had to focus on what it is that I am doing. And that's where I started to see the results. So many times we lose and miss the mark sometimes because we are focused on other people. We're trying to do what they did. Or we take offense because they're moving forward with something and we've just been sitting and talking and we haven't been putting in the work. You know, I saw this meme earlier today that said, they did not steal an idea from you. They just started moving while you kept talking about it. And I thought that was so powerful because so many times we get jealous of people and we're like, well, why are they doing this and why are they doing that? And it's not because they don't have a purpose. It's because we're not walking in ours. Because we spend our time talking about what we're going to do, but we haven't actually taken the tangible steps to do it. So my challenge for you this week is to do something. Take the first step into whatever it is that God is calling you to do, whether it be to start a business, to start a ministry. Maybe it's not to start something. Maybe it's to stop something. You know, maybe it's to change how you're doing something. Take the first step. Don't tell anybody about it. Just do it. Just take a step. You would be surprised what happens when you make one good choice. Something I say to my students all the time is every good choice counts. So I don't care if you made 87 bad choices. The next choice that you have to make can be a good one. So why don't you focus on this next choice? Because what's done is already done, right? We can't get past that. We can't change it. But let's work on what's the next choice. So what that maybe you made a mistake in that business. Then let's look at it. Let's reposition ourselves. Let's get the help that we need to make it better. And let's make the next good choice. Don't get stuck because something didn't go your way or because you made a mistake or because you're trying to do something that is like somebody else and you're not being yourself. Don't get stuck. People die from being stuck. There are so many people that are literally living, but on the inside they are dead because they're stuck. They feel like they've missed their prime. Have you ever met somebody that was like, man, I could have went pro, but this happened. Or I could have did this, but that happened. And they live those glory days, right? They live in them. Like that is their existence. They don't even come to the present. They live in their glory days. They live in the good old days because they haven't put in the work to make a change. If you want something to change, you got to do something. So many of us are praying. And even this, beginning of the year, a lot of people fast and pray during this time of the year. And so they're fasting and they're praying and they're saying, this year is going to be different than last year. This year is my year. I am going to have all these things that, I'm believing that God is going to do. I am praying. I'm reading my Bible. I'm fasting. But if you do all of those things and you still don't do any work, you will find yourself in the exact same place this time next year. See, the thing is, it's not a talk thing. It's a work thing. You got to work towards the goal. So that's like me saying, okay, I really want to lose some weight, but I don't do anything different than what I've been doing. How do I expect the weight to be lost? Is it just going to fall off? Is it just going to disappear? No, I got to do some work. I'm going to have to change some things. I'm going to have to make a decision that I want to accomplish my goal more than I want the things of my flesh. So that means I'm going to have to make some moves. And so if you are feeling like you are stuck right now, we're closing out on the end of January, right? This time next week will be the last day of January. And some people have already fallen off of whatever their New Year's resolution was that they made them because maybe they've experienced some opposition. So maybe they missed the gym that one time and now they just feel defeated. Or maybe they, missed this one class, or they already turned in an assignment late, so now they've already given up on school and they've missed the mark, and so they're frustrated, right? But let me just tell you this, if that's you, get back up and just make the next good choice. I'm not saying you got to have it all figured out right away because it takes time. It takes intentional planning. Like, you're not going to accomplish things with no plan. So just take the next good step. Just say, something? This was a bad choice, but you know what? The next choice is going to be okay. You know what? I struggled in this area, but I'm going to make the next best choice for me. I made this mistake. I missed the mark here, but you know what? It's not over yet. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep moving forward. Take the next step. Take the next step. I'm telling you guys, it's not easy. I'm telling you right now, I was having a moment today because I have so many different things that are going on right now, and I've been feeling really frustrated. And I had to remind myself of where I started. You know, this time last year, actually this exact day last year, I lost not one, but two of my cousins. Two of them died the same day, and I was devastated. This time a year ago, I was taking medication for depression and anxiety. I had probably the worst bout of anxiety that I experienced in a long time, and I was struggling. I was beat down, I was run down, I was worn out, and I didn't feel like I could come up. All this strength, right? All of these things that I do for other people, and I couldn't get myself out of bed every day. And it was really frustrating. I was on medication, and I felt like, you know what? I'm never going to get off of medication again. I'm never going to be better again. And guess what? God is so favorable. He is so faithful that he kept me. He comforted me. He gave me the necessary tools that I needed to heal. He gave me the right therapist. He gave me the right treatment plan to be able to not be in the same position. And even though there are many things that are still going on today, I'm still in the fight. Depression and anxiety is a daily walk. Being a single mom is a daily walk. Having a child with disability is a daily walk. There are so many things that I could quit at any moment, right? I could choose to get up and throw in the towel at any moment. But my goal is bigger than my current circumstances. What I'm working towards and what God has given me is bigger and greater than what I'm dealing with. So it gives me just enough push to just move through the next minute. Just enough push to just keep going, even though there's every reason to quit. There's every reason to doubt. There's every reason to worry. There's every reason to throw in the towel. Sometimes you got to push and get what's inside of you to just take the next step. I'm not even talking about the whole plan. I'm just talking about the next minute, the next hour, the next day. Just keep moving forward. Life is going to hit you. Things are going to happen. And you've got to be in a place where you understand that you got to sometimes take the hit and you got to keep moving forward. That doesn't mean acknowledge that it hurts, because we need to acknowledge our own pain. Nobody's saying you got to be a superhero. You can say that you're frustrated. You can say that you're hurting. You can take time out to rest and take care of yourself. In the second half, we're going to be talking about some actual tangible principles that you can be doing to be your best self. All of those things, included, but keep moving forward. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it break you. Don't let it harm you in any way. You gotta keep moving forward. I want to leave you with this thought as we are wrapping up the She Heals Inspiration segment. Listen, you know, I was thinking earlier this week of some of the things that I've been through, and I just started to cry because sometimes you're so consumed by what's going on right now that you forgot where you started. And I was thinking about this time, it was around 13 years ago, that I was probably the most depressed I've ever been in my entire life. And during that time, I actually tried to take my life. I was a young mom. I was depressed. I was going through things, and I just had enough. And I felt like the world would be better without me in it. And so I decided to end my life. And thank God it didn't work. Thank God that we got to the hospital in time, and that, you know, I was able to stay in the hospital and get some help and start the beginning to my healing. But let me just say this. I was so low and nobody knew, because I smiled every day. I got up and went to work every day. I went to church every Sunday. I went to every family function. I was there for my friends. You know, I was always on, right? I was always on. I always had to have the perfect smile, and yes, everything is great and I'm doing wonderful. And I knew I was so good at faking it that I could convince myself at times that I was okay, and I wasn't. Let me say this to you. If that is you, get some help right now. It's no shame. It's nothing to be, ashamed about. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Get the help you need right now, because you cannot keep up in that type of heightened position forever. You will eventually crack. And that's exactly what happened to me. I did all this faking the funk until I couldn't do it anymore. And then it was so overwhelming. I had no skills. I had no support because nobody even knew that I was hurting. I had no leg to stand on. And then guess what happened? I had enough. You don't want that to be you, because I'm fortunate that I was able to live through it. Some people haven't. So if you are feeling that way, get some help right now. do a check-in. You can send something to me, and I will connect you to the help that maybe can be of a resource to you. You can, there are hotlines for suicide prevention. There are so many different types of therapy. There are exercise, and we're going to talk about that the whole second half. And I'm telling you, you are going to be blessed. But I'm telling you, get the help that you need. Don't wait until it's overwhelming and it's all consuming. Don't wait until there's nothing that you have left to give and you can't even listen, get some oxygen for yourself. Get some breathing room for yourself. I'm telling you, this is life changing. I'm telling you from personal experience that I will never allow myself to get that low again. I've had to store many strategies. I'm using some right now. Many strategies. I still go to therapy. I'm now exercising and taking care of my mind and my body. I'm now thinking about what is going into my body. When I tell you, pulling on resource after resource, and I'm telling you, it is a blessing. January is normally the hardest month of the year for me. It's after the holidays, it's cold, it's dark, and it's frustrating. And that's when the seasonal depression can kick in. But I feel better than I have felt in years during this time because I have some strategies. Get some strategies, get some help. If you need some help, if you don't even know where to go, if you are on the Facebook Live right now, you can inbox me, you can leave a message in the comments. Listen, we will connect you to some help because it is that serious. This is a very serious time of year. I'm telling you that, so many things are happening and we want to just move forward. We are at a place right now. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back from the She Heals radio show. I'm telling you, we're going to have an awesome time where we are going to talk about all things fitness. I want you to stick tight right now. This is the She Heals radio show with your host, Whitney J. We will be right back after the break. Welcome back. You are listening to the She Heals Radio Show on Awesome God Radio. I am your host, Whitney J. Again, it is Friday, January 24th, 2020. Thank you for all that have tuned in. I am super excited for the second half of the show. It's amazing when you connect with people and they become your family. I just love how God brings people together. And so this is my family here. So it's family in the building, but I am super excited about the topic because it is something that is super important. So I just want to hop right into that. So I want to formally welcome to the She Heals Radio Show, Coach Gert. Hey, Uncle Gert.
What's up? What's happening?
Hey, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. And yourself?
I am good. Shout out to producer Q, who is taking good care of us. So I'm hurting right now because I've been working out in a good way. So I am now a new member of Live Now Fitness, and so I am super excited about it. This is completely out of my comfort zone, but the way you guys have things set up is like I've never seen before. So first, I just want you to tell us who you are and a little bit about Live Now.
Okay, I'm Coach Gert, David Girton. Live Now started in my basement some 14 years ago.
Wow.
You know, and it started just as a hobby. I was just helping people out on the side. You know, I had a full-time government computer job, but I was helping people out, and I was starting to get people results. And then they started referring other people.
Oh, wow.
Referring other people. And so I was working before my full-time gig, after my full-time gig, to the point it was like, hey, what am I going to do?
Right.
What am I going to do? I hated going to work, but I loved doing what I was doing with the fitness and wellness. And so I left 10 years ago. It's been 10 years since I left my full-time job.
Wow.
And Live Now Fitness has been in its own location for the last 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
Yes. And then, our core principles are community first. And I think that's probably what you feel when you come there.
Yes.
It's the community, holistic lifestyle. So we don't do any quick gimmicks.
Yes.
It's all about living the right way. And then it's just about simplicity. We keep things super simple. You see, we don't have a whole lot of equipment.
Right.
We keep it super simple. So that's who we are.
That's awesome. So when I came, let me first say this. I have not worked out in years.
Right.
Years. And the people that know me closely know I am afraid of gyms. I have a huge anxiety about working out in front of people. No idea why. And so all of a sudden, I just kept feeling like you got to do something different. It's not working. What you're doing is not working. You need to go to a gym. And so when I came, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can just work out by myself. And then I was like, no, they're all classes, like in front of people. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to try something new because I want something new, right?
Right.
And so I came, and I was so nervous. And each time that I've come, I've only been coming a couple weeks, I feel a little bit better, and the confidence is growing just a little bit more. And it is so true that it is community. There's no embarrassment.
It's all about there's no judgment.
Yes.
It's all about community, and everybody's going to welcome you. It's not fake. It's genuine.
Yes.
Folks are just going to welcome you into the fold. That's just how we are built. You know,
I love
we
it.
attract those people, and I know you, like you said, you've only been there a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But it feels like a long time.
Yeah.
You know, because the comfort level is growing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So I want to talk about fitness, though, because I feel like this is the time of the year, right? It's January. You know how we do.
Absolutely.
I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year.
You joined in January.
I did join in January.
You joined in January.
I did join in January.
Yes.
You know, so it's like we start those new years, right? Like it's a new year. What is the big reason or the top reason why people fall off?
There's a few reasons. One of them is that always stands out is people try to do too much. They start off and they just try to do too much. Hey, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to eat oatmeal and broccoli. Like, I'm going to change things so drastically. When what I would say is just change one thing. So don't even go out and get a gym membership until you're ready for that.
Right.
Maybe you just start I do my mile walk every day.
Right.
Maybe you just start there. Maybe you just walk up and down your stairs. Remember I said about one of our core principles is simplicity.
Yeah.
So if you just start with simple, and then once you master something, so you've mastered, walking around the block a couple times, then you add on, okay? okay, now I'm going to drink more water. All right?
Right.
And then you add on. Instead of saying, I'm going to do everything right off the jump. That's why people fail.
Yeah.
That's one of the big reasons.
It's like cold turkey. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And so it's starting. I love how you said, like, do one thing and then build on it.
Yeah.
So just kind of build some stamina.
Build some habits. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's building habits. Just like anything, if you're studying for a class, you have habits behind that to support you getting good grades.
Exactly.
It's the same way with fitness. You got to build these habits, and the habits come slow and steady, but they come. And you got to take those slow and steady wins as wins, like progress. So if you couldn't walk around the block without getting out of breath, now you can walk around. Now, a few weeks later, you can walk around the block, and you're like, oh man, I'm good. Let me walk around again. Like, celebrate that win.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I love that. And, I think the other piece what I do love about your gym specifically is the accountability. Mm-hmm. I like that it's there and you're not kind of just out on this island by yourself. And I know for me, and I'm sure other people in the past, the reason why it hasn't stuck is I haven't really had a plan and nobody checking in. So I was kind of doing my own thing, which is easy to then not do it.
That's big. That's big. That's big as well. Not having a plan, not knowing what to do. So even if you decided to hire a coach, you knew you couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
You knew you couldn't do it. So that's the big thing. Even if you hire a coach for a week and you say, hey, just pour as much into me as you can in that week, or a month, but that expertise is valuable.
Yes.
Like, it's super valuable. You see, like, now you have accountability. You got these coaches that are looking for you. You have these people that you work out with that are looking for you. You don't have to worry about your nutrition. We give you a plan.
Yes, thank God for that.
all you have to do is follow the plan. You follow the plan, you're gonna win.
Super. That's simple, right? It sounds simple. It's hard to do, but I think the accountability is there and the encouragement. And so whatever, and this could apply to life anyway. This has nothing to do with fitness.
Absolutely.
It's just having that accountability and the encouragement, but actually doing the work. So like I can have this great plan, right? It's all laid out for me. But if I never attempt to do the meal prep, if I never go to the gym, I'm not going to see the results.
You're not. And I mean, people do that. That's why I say when people sit down with me initially, I'm like, hey, don't try to do everything. If you just eat a little better than you were eating before, you're going to be better off. Like, don't think that it has to be, there's no such thing as perfection. It's just about progress. And that's simplicity. That's baby steps. And those baby steps, they're going to get you where you need to go.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about nutrition for a little bit too, because I feel like, I know in my naive mind, like, well, if I just work out every day, I can eat whatever I want. But those days is over.
I mean, those days are over for everybody.
So how does the nutrition balance the working out?
Well, I mean, the nutrition is the building blocks. When you go to sleep, your body is rebuilding everything. That's another misconception. People think that you get stronger in the gym. You don't get stronger in the gym. You get stronger at home with your sleep and with your nutrition. That's where you get stronger. When you go to sleep and your body is able to assemble all those building blocks of all the good nutrition. Like if you're putting burgers and fries in there, it's gonna be pretty tough for your body to assemble some strength that you need when you go to the gym the next time. That's like we've had people literally come up in the lab and they get sick during a workout, and I'm like, they didn't eat right. And you ask them what they ate, and they ate like a burger, fries, or something crazy before they came in. So nutrition is the building blocks that helps you when you get in the gym.
Okay. And so what are just some basic nutrition things that we should be following?
Basic. I mean, drink more water. So like, and I tell people, like, drink water before every meal. Have a glass of water before every meal. Make it room temperature so that you can drink it. Like, so if they bring you something to your table and you're out and it has ice in it, tell them, no, I need room temperature, no ice, so that you can drink it. Mm-hmm. You can drink it. You get that down, you're going to eat less. You drink water before every meal. You drink water the first thing when you get up in the morning. Water should be the first thing that you put in your body. So put a bottle of water. Where do you normally go first thing? You go in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
You go in the bathroom. You turn on the light, you do what you got to do. Have a bottle of water right there. You got to put a bottle of water in your car. So water is going to be my biggest tip. because, like, what is it? 75% of Americans are walking around chronically dehydrated because we drink everything but water.
Yes.
And water is life.
Yeah. So simple. Drink some water.
Drink some water. I mean, that's gonna be my biggest nutrition thing. I mean, we could go into other things, but water is the biggest thing.
All right. Well, I'll take that one. So I know one of the things that it was in one of the plans that I read is like you should be drinking ideally half of your body weight, correct? In ounces in water.
Yes.
Okay.
But don't try to get there. If you were just drinking 24 ounces, on Tuesday, don't try on Thursday to get to that number. Just add. Just build. Like I said, just like we're walking around the block. Just build on it. A couple of weeks, you're adding a glass. After a couple more weeks, you add another glass. Like, baby step your way up.
Yes, because then it'll stick.
Yes.
Then it'll stick. So, drinking your water. Mm-hmm. What is a feasible amount of time you should be exercising per day?
I mean, 20 to 30 minutes for most people.
Okay.
Most out-of-shape people, they don't need to be in the gym for an hour and a half. Like, it's diminishing returns at that point. And that's what leads to burnout.
Right.
Everybody's busy. Schedules are hectic. So make it, again, the word of the day is simplicity. Keep it super simple. 20 to 30 minutes of working out is going to be fun.
Awesome. So you heard it. Drink some water, 20 to 30 minutes. We don't have to kill ourselves. Just ease into it. But even finding ways that you can be active throughout the day. So I fortunately have a job that I'm on my feet, but some people don't. Mm-hmm. But just finding time to take a quick break and walk around your cubicle or around your office, or just finding ways to be active, I think is really important as well throughout the day, because we're not going to always be able to go to the gym every single day.
Yeah, because most jobs these days, people sit down all day. So get up every 50 minutes. As you said, get up, walk around, move, you do some arm circles, stretch. Yeah. Do that every 50 minutes. Like, some people will sit at their desk for 4 and 5 hours.
Right.
So it's messing up so many things. It's messing up your posture. You're wondering why your lower back is hurting because you're probably slouching at some point, or you're crouched over the keyboard. So get up and sit at the edge of the chair. Don't sit back in the chair, because if we sit back in the chair, we're going to tend to get comfortable. So if we sit at the edge, you have to sit upright. So we're sitting upright. So then we have to we're actually working our ab muscles, which everybody always wants to get better. So you can work them right there at your desk.
Yeah, so it's just finding those simple things. And I love that, because I know for me, I'm a planner. So I used to think I would get overwhelmed by what I thought I had to do to get in shape. But I didn't realize there's opportunity around me all day long to make the right choices.
Absolutely. I mean, even if you're at home and you didn't make it to the lab that day.
Right.
Get up, you're watching TV. Again, don't sit there the whole time. Every time a commercial comes on, get up. Go up and down the stairs. Walk around the house. Don't sit back down until that commercial is done. Then sit back down. If you choose to sit back down, and sometimes just watch the TV like standing up. Yeah. Because that's another thing. We also have like bad backs, or just it's a chronic thing. Right. And it's because of we're sitting in these soft things, we're getting comfortable, we're slouching. Right. So as much as we can stand up, better. Like, let's not help gravity out. Gravity's always pulling us down anyway. Right. Let's not help it out.
Right. So just, again, finding things that you can do even in your home. What are some principles that we as parents can start to instill in our children now as it relates to exercise in our health?
Those same things. So get them out for that walk. Once you get them outside, they're going to start running. Right. Like, that's just what kids do. They're not going to walk with you the entire time. They're going to run. They're going to go look for, like, we do a hike. We do a hike once a month. Mm-hmm. And the kids, when they come on the hike, the kids are all over the trail. They're picking up rocks. They're picking up wood. They want to see this. They want to see that. So I know the biggest thing, like, I'm really big on this. Kids need to be outside.
Playing.
They need to be outside or playing. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, we have all the devices and whatnot. I get it. Yeah. But I don't get it. We need to be outside a lot more.
Yeah, we need, and even for our own mental health, just fresh air.
Fresh air, vitamin D. Like
Yeah.
there's healing outside, not in these manufactured environments that we spend a lot of our time in.
That is so, so true. I know for me, I love a good walk. That is one thing that I would do. It's just, you can clear your head. And, I was sharing on the first segment that, in the past, I've taken medication for depression and anxiety. And I'm certainly not saying that there is something wrong with that. I feel like we all have to do what is best for us. So there is no judgment. But I will say that I'm finding in this season that I haven't needed that support because I've been doing some other things physically, and that it's been helping me emotionally as well. From those that aren't aware, there's a direct connection to the two.
Absolutely.
It's right there.
I even, you don't know this, but when I started my walks last year, I did it because I was like stressed out and I was starting to feel like boxed in.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I can't really, I was on edge all the time. So literally one day I just decided, hey, I'm just going to take a walk. And I just started walking, and it's what you said, I started feeling better.
Yeah.
As soon as, when you're out in nature and you're hearing those sounds and you feel that air, you cannot do anything but feel better.
Yes.
So now that's become a part of who I am. Yeah, I can do all the push-ups and pull-ups and all that stuff, but the most important part of my day, other than drinking water and my sleep, is my walk.
Yes.
I don't miss that walk because it's a time for me to get quiet. It's a time for me to talk to God. I can see the animals.
It's literally nothing like it.
It's nothing like it.
It's nothing like it.
They even, in some countries, they even prescribe nature walks for depression and anxiety.
Absolutely.
So there's healing out there for sure.
Absolutely. And don't let the cold deter you. You can find the right time. Not saying you got to be outside for 3 hours.
Man, I'm outside for 20 minutes, 25
right.
minutes. I walk a mile. And really, if you layer up, not huge, but you layer up.
Right. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Your body will actually start to heat up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important. And I keep stressing this, especially around this time of the year. This is a very difficult time of the year for many people. The days are short. It's cold. The weather, this is a really high time of depression, anxiety, and even suicide. And so the first step is just moving around. Yeah. Just move around. We're not telling you got to go join a gym today, but get out and just do something different.
Absolutely. And then that's why it's even more important. It's getting darker earlier.
Yeah.
That's why it's even more important to get outside as much as you can during the daylight hours.
Yes.
Vitamin D deficiencies are huge.
Yes.
So if we're spending more time inside, it's going to be a vitamin D deficiency. So as much as possible, get outside. And then remember, there's healing outside.
Yes. It's
all
there.
The time. It's out there.
It's out there. And, even little things that, I'm all about what can I do in the moment? I park further away. Mm-hmm. I used to park right by the school so I could get right into my car and leave. Now I park further away. It's not killing me to walk those extra steps. It's just an extra step to get in, extra step to get out. But it's just that little change.
That little bit. So even if you work in a building that has an elevator, walk up, you're out of shape, but you probably can make it up a flight or two. Make it up a flight or two and then catch the elevator.
Right.
And then just turn that into a practice.
And build.
And then build.
And
that's
just build.
All you have to do.
It's so simple. What gets in our way, and I want to talk about this for a little bit, is our mind. So I don't think that it's hard to actually drink water. It's not hard to physically get yourself a glass of water and drink it and swallow it, right?
We want it quick.
Right.
Most people want it you've been sitting around getting out of shape for 10 years. You come see me and you're like, man, 2 weeks in, you're like, I'm not seeing no results.
I haven't dropped 30 pounds.
You know what I mean? You're like, and I'm like, you've been here 2 weeks.
Right, it's going to take some time.
Be patient. When you were sitting around not doing anything, you weren't impatient. You were chilling. So bring some chill into this process as well. You don't have to make it hard. Don't do a million things.
Right.
Keep it
no
simple.
Crash diets.
Yeah, no crash diets, no fad diets. All diets are going to work. But the key is it sustainable?
Yes, that is it.
That's the key. Is it sustainable? So you need to ask yourself, can you do this for the next few years Before you do any type of nutrition plan, you need to ask yourself, can I do this for the next year? Let's just say a year.
Yeah.
Can I eat like this for the next year?
Yeah.
Like, ask yourself that. Yeah, you're going to lose weight on extreme diets, but you're going to gain it back.
Right.
Because it's just not realistic. So once you find a plan that you want to do, whatever it is, paleo, plant-based, doesn't matter. Once you find a plan, say, hey, I'm going to stick to this. I can stick to this for the night. Let's just go in quarters. 90 days. I can do this for 90 days.
Yeah.
And then stack on another 90 days.
Right.
And then another. And then, then you're at a year.
Right.
But
and then it's now a habit.
But then ask yourself, though, when you look at that plan, can I eat like this for the next year?
Right.
Can I do this? Like, be real with yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too, is that I'm laughing because I've done this so many times. I'm just gonna stop eating everything, and it's okay. So no, you're not. so let's look at, like you said, what is feasible, what can I actually sustain. Well, what I can do is look at, there are some things I definitely need to stop eating as much. So in my family, diabetes is a huge problem. So my mother died at 53. My aunt died at 50. My grandfather died in his 40s. So diabetes is huge. And so I was looking at my soda intake a couple years ago. I used to drink like 6-7 sodas a day, y'all. It was serious. That was all I drank, was soda the whole day. Vanilla Cokes. That was my thing. So it's like sugar crazy. And it was just, okay, wait a minute. So your aunt just passed. Your mom just passed away. And your mom was diagnosed at 30. So she was an older diagnosis. My sister was diagnosed at 9. Just had a kidney transplant and pancreas transplant. She no longer has diabetes. It's amazing. But do you want to go down that route? You seen how this plays out, right?
And that's the big one. Like, do you really you see it? Like, I saw my grandmother struggle with diabetes.
Right.
Like, I had to give her shots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I want this?
Right.
Like, do I want to live like this?
No.
And then all it takes is, people think, man, you're so healthy, it's easy for you. No, it's not. It's not easy for me.
Right.
I want to eat all the fatty, salty, crunchy food just like everybody else. But I know what's on the back end of that.
Right.
I know that high blood pressure is on the back end of that.
Right.
Diabetes, heart disease. No, thank you.
Right. So it's just making a good choice and looking at, okay, we need to make some changes here because we don't want that same result. I think the other thing too is, I know for me and for many people, it's not even the food. You really need help in another area. You're using the food. So, everyone has their thing, right? So mine is eating. When I'm happy, I like to eat. If I'm sad, I want to eat. For all feelings, food is a part of it. And so I had to actually look at my relationship with food.
Yeah.
Like,
where did you pick
this
that up?
is not healthy.
Like, where did you pick that up?
Right. Where did that come from? That I need to eat. My feelings need to be associated with food.
Like, there was probably something, I'm guaranteeing it's probably something in your childhood.
I'm sure of it.
Like, something in your childhood. It's just like people were taught to, clean their plate. Like, you better clean the plate. You better eat all that food.
Yeah,
or
else.
Eat all that food, but I'm full.
Right.
I'm satisfied. No, you better eat all that food.
Right, they're starving children. That's how I say it. They're starving children.
You better eat all that food. And then what happens is, when you get older, you look at a plate and it's like, I gotta eat all this food because you've been trained to do that. So you eat past being full. And now with restaurants, the servings at most restaurants, the servings are out of control.
Yeah.
They're out of control.
Huge.
They're bringing you enough food for 3 people.
Yeah.
And that person that's always been told to clean your plate,
you've now ate 3 meals.
Now you've eaten 3 meals.
Yeah, it's real. And so it's checking. And I think this was actually in one of the emails that you sent me this week. It was like asking yourself before you're eating, why am I eating this? What is this going to do for me? And that to me was so powerful, because for me, the exercise, I can get that part. That's cool. It's the food part. And that's where, for me, the real work begins. And so it's, why am I eating this? Am I eating this because I want to feel good? So instead, if that's the case, what can I do in replace of that? Maybe I need to go walk outside for a few minutes and I can feel good that way.
Absolutely.
Or drink some water. So many of us are struggling in the area of food. And then we're wondering why our mental health is up and down. And our physical health is up and down because we have unhealthy relationships with food and maybe even with working out. I've seen some people that will work themselves out to death. And it's like, okay, you need to calm down.
There's a happy medium to it all. Like,
yeah.
This is my business, and I don't like physically like work out super hard every day. Like I do 4 to 5 workouts a week, and that's it. And some weeks, 3 of those may be my walk.
Yeah.
Depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to be. You don't have to beat yourself up at all times.
Right.
You know, but something you said about like asking yourself about food, like that's super important. When you're like going for this snack bag, you should ask yourself like, how does this support my goals?
Right.
Like, how does this support me being the healthiest version of myself?
Yeah.
Like, if you start to ask yourself that every single time that you are about to eat something, like you're gonna train your subconscious mind. It's gonna go in there. It's gonna go in there.
If I don't need this.
And it's gonna be on autopilot. You know?
Yeah. That is super important. And like I said, I'm learning, I'm growing. But what I do love, and I actually want to spend some time talking about Live Now so people can get connected to you. What I do love about your program is there is so much information because there's never been a time that I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's all there. It's laid out. It's even down to the grocery list. I mean, it is very well thought out, intentional, and put together, but it's still simple. You know, I liked looking at the meal plan for, I think it's this week, and I was like, okay, so there's things on here that I actually eat, so this is good. You know, like it's food. It's not eating lettuce every single day.
It's not. And like
it's actual food.
It's real food. Like there is nothing on our plan. I think you've seen it. There's nothing on there that's a gimmick.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And you're not like eating the same thing every day for 2 weeks.
Right.
It's not that. There's variety if you want variety. If you want to eat the same thing, that's great. If you find something that you love, that's great. But there are options there. And it's like, as you said, it's food that you actually like.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is nice. I can actually do this.
Yes.
Instead of things that I've tried in the past. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to eat that. So then what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. You know? So I think it's finding what works for you, but also being intentional about trying something new. So I know for me,
big.
you know, I'm particular about my food and textures of food and all of that. And I don't like smoothies. I never have liked them.
I mean, just eat some fruit.
Right. And so at first I was like, well, I'm just going to eat some fruit. And I did. And then I said, well, why don't I just try to make a smoothie? Worst case, I don't like it. I won't die. It'll be okay. And I tried one. One of the things that was on there, and I was like, actually, this tastes kind of good. Like it's not like I don't love it, but it's good.
But you can do that,
right? And then I was like, okay, well maybe I'll look at some. I'll try something new next time. I'll put maybe a different fruit or something different. But just be willing to try something different.
I mean, when you set out on your wellness journey, for most people, it's a change. It's a big change.
Yeah.
So your mind has to be open.
Yeah.
All the possibilities. And that's why we give you the information and we're saying, hey, just open your mind to the possibilities. We're going to help you win.
Right.
But just be patient.
Right.
Be patient. Open your mind and just let us hold your hand and we're going to guide you through all the wins.
I love it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see and feel my best self. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. And every day I feel a little bit better. So it works. Doing the work works. So if you are interested, listen, if you are in the Maryland area, even if you're not, if you want to get connected with Live Now Fitness, give us all your information and then we will be sure to put it in the live so people can connect with you.
Okay. So it's livenowfitness.com. LIVENOW fitness.com. You can get all the information that you need there. You can follow me on Facebook, David S. Girton Jr. And then we have a page on Facebook as well, Live Now Fitness. And Instagram, we're on Instagram. So it's Live Now _fitness.
Awesome. So listen, get connected. I'm telling you, you will see different videos of things there. It's fun. I was doing some things today I never knew I could do this
Yeah,
morning.
we bring the kid, we bring the play back.
Yes, it was. I had a great time, and I'm telling you, you want to get connected. There are so many resources. The environment is friendly. If you're like me and you're afraid to work out in front of people, I'm telling you from experience, it's a different type of vibe. Nobody's looking to shame you. No, everyone is looking to encourage you. They encourage every step of the way. I'm telling you, you will go and you will feel better when you leave. I want you to connect. I want you to think about your goals for this week. I want you to think about what you are going to work towards. And I want you to make an actual plan. Nothing gets done without a plan. Nothing gets accomplished in excellence without a plan.
Absolutely.
Take some time. What's the first step that you can take? My prayer for you for this over this weekend and over the next week is that God will tell you what's the next step to do. Whatever it is that he's telling you to do, what's the first step? Just take that one and then plan for what's moving forward. And trust me, you will see the results. I want to thank Coach Girton for coming on the show.
Thank you.
It is a pleasure having you here. I am super excited. I want to do shout out to Q, our producer that is continuously holding us down. Let me just brag on Q for a second. So Quincy, he's my son, so I might be biased, but he's cool to me. But he is producing the show. We had an unexpected guest. My younger son was here, unplanned. He was helping with his brother. He's just always down to kind of move forward with whatever is going on. I'm just thankful for that. So shout out to you, Q, for that. To all my listeners, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Make the right decisions. Enjoy yourself. Listen, time is a gift. Enjoy the present because the future is not promised to any of us. I want to thank you all for listening to the show. I hope you join us back here next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another segment of the She Heals Radio Show. In closing, she thinks, she feels, she hurts, she cries, she prays, she trusts, she overcomes, and ultimately she heals. This is the She Heals Radio Show with your host, Whitney J. Have a blessed weekend.
We are 24/7 Awesome God Radio.